Governor Deval Patrick is here at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government to discuss his views on inspiring public service.
I want to first of all commend the university for creating a way to acknowledge public service by designating a public service week. The subject is timely, though I have to admit that like many of my colleagues around the country, a lot of people wonder aloud why anybody would want to be a governor today. I will admit that there were a few things that I did not anticipate. I knew there would be close media scrutiny, but I did not anticipate that sometimes I would be left feeling that if I walked on water, the headline splash would be, "Patrick can't swim." I knew that change would come slowly, but I did not anticipate that we would sometimes have to do hand-to-hand combat with members of my own party. I knew that resources would be tight, but I did not anticipate a global economic collapse. Fear and pain and the level of displacement that it has spread across and through a normally proud and resourceful Commonwealth and nation. We are in crisis. We have only the barest appreciation, it seems to me today, of how close we were to full-blown depression just a year ago at this time. And in Massachusetts, we have changed a lot. We have closed an $8 billion budget gap so far and delivered 3 budgets that were responsible, transparent, balanced, and on time, not something that every state can say. We reformed the state pension system, tightened the ethics and lobbying rules, radically simplified the transportation network, reduced everybody's auto insurance premium rates by introducing competition, and joined 49 other states by introducing civilian flaggers instead of police officers to state construction sites. Changes people have been clamoring for in our Commonwealth for over 20 years, but that we have delivered. We have invested in IT, the life sciences, clean tech, and healthcare, the very industries many experts say are leading Massachusetts out of the recession faster and stronger than the rest of the United States. Our students have scored first in the nation for the 3rd year in a row on the National Achievement Tests, and we have invested more money in education, roads, and bridges, expanding broadband, and refurbishing public and affordable housing than ever before in our history. Over 97% of the men, women, and children in our Commonwealth have affordable health care today and don't have to worry about going bankrupt because they get sick. Not another state in the country can touch that record. And people can marry whomever they love here in Massachusetts, too. Growing up as I did in poverty on the south side of Chicago, in some ways makes this economic crisis feel almost familiar. I know what it's like to be uncertain about tomorrow, to be unable to predict tomorrow based solely on what happened yesterday. I know what it's like not to have enough money, enough food, to have to improvise and to lean on others just to get over. I know what it's like to have your life upended by the unexpected. And I also know how not to let that be my only reality. I see the suffering and the anxiety around us today. Who couldn't? I see the faces and the families behind every one of the line items on the spreadsheets that I review over and over again with my team, the human and social damage that the economy has caused. But I also know how not to curl up in the fetal position and just wait for better times. I know how to imagine a better Commonwealth. That is what we are about in my administration, and why we have accomplished, I believe, as much as we have. And frankly, that is what a second term will be about, should the people of the Commonwealth so choose. It takes courage and character in our modern culture to see beyond our own interests, to recognize the need in someone else's life, and then to take action to try to make a difference. In a time where so many submit to finger-pointing and blame, it's an extraordinary thing to witness someone who not simply identifies the problem, but also the solution, and then owns it. And yet I also know that change and progress is not up to me or to government generally, but up to you. Political leadership is just one form of public service, not the only or even the most important form of service. There is military service and diplomatic service. There is business and not-for-profit service. There is service in the community, in the schools, in our houses of worship. There is the greatest form of service, in my view, in a democracy at least, which is active, informed citizenship. Because the challenges we face in this Commonwealth and this country today are so profound, so transformational, that service to the greater good is more important than ever. Because now more than ever, we need you and your sense of responsibility for one another to lead us to the better tomorrows ahead.
In his speech on inspiring public service, Governor Deval Patrick encouraged everyone to play an active role in their community. This is Mombi Michelle Kimani reporting for WEBN News.